Those who had been cast down, the demons who would be gods, began to whisper to men from their tombs within the earth, and the men of Tevinter heard, and raised altars to the pretender gods once more, and in return were given, in hushed whispers, the secrets of darkest magic. But it was not worship the false gods craved. They urged the magisters to ever greater depravity, rewarding them with power and more. Arrogance became a great caged beast in the lands of Tevinter, an emptiness that consumed all and could never be filled. To satisfy its hunger, the mage lords, at the goading of their gods, assaulted the golden city, heart of all creation, to take the Maker's power for themselves. With magic born of mingled blood and lyrium, the Tevinter broke into the Maker's house, but the promised power did not await them there. The moment they entered the city of the Maker, their sin poisoned it. What had been gold turned black, and violently they were flung from the world of dreams back into the waking world, twisted and corrupted by their crime and their magic into monsters. They fled underground, unable to bear the light of day. The first Darkspawn. Threnodies, Chapter 8, verses 21 through 27, The Canticle of Transfigurations. Hello, and welcome to part 1 of the finale for Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice. We have a little bit of a late start, but we're going to try and pack it with as much content as possible. This tabletop role-playing game uses the Dragon Age video game setting developed by BioWare and the officially licensed tabletop role-playing game published by Green Ronin. Thanks also to Incompetech, aka Kevin MacLeod, for creating the wonderful music you'll hear tonight. Incompetech can be found through the Roll20 app, which we will also be using. As a content note, the Dragon Age setting is not a nice place. Content warnings persist across this chronicle for war violence, sickness, undead, and terrible choices made in terrible circumstances. As this is the finale, imagine all of that dialed up to 11. We employ the X card for player safety. And so, tonight, join us in telling the story of the Fourth Light. First, Wardens, introduce yourselves to the audience, please.
Hello everybody, my name is Steve, my pronouns are he, him, and I am here to pack the content, as Rachel phrased it. So I will be playing Jurgen, the former Circle Mage, who is now Tranquil, and the party combat medic.
And Hype Man. Mm-hmm. And my name is Devin. You may call me Content Packer, sorta sullied. I will be playing Garrick, Warden Commander.
Thanks, boss. I'm Brody. This is Tanith. I will be playing Harold Wynn, the party's face and the party's regret.
What even does that mean? Alright, I am your game runner.
Hey,
my
wait.
name is Rachel.
Sorry?
Sorry?
More?
Oh,
You
I'm
forgot
sorry.
someone.
And
That's all right.
And
on this stream.
and also, Jurgen, check to make sure you still have the Quiet Death.
Raylith is not forgotten by the Maker.
I'm so used to it being alphabetical.
You're the one who decided I went last. Hi, everybody. I'm Ben, playing Raylath. We'll keep it to that. You'll see more about me as we play.
Baby Maker Raylath.
Nope, that was definitely not something we decided on.
I mean, it
Man,
could be.
this guy has an entire deployment of mages at their control, so that's gonna be rad.
Man, Rayla could make so many babies with that many. Sorry, no, scratch that. Scratch that. Scratch that.
But can he assume the
Okay.
form of a bear?
Ooh.
Give him a little bit of time, and yes.
If you give us a couple extra levels, yes.
All right, now I will say, my name is Rachel. I am she, her. I'm Stolen Fires pretty much everywhere, including the Burning Bird app, along with Instagram, YouTube, and Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky, whatever the du jour media. Anyway, you can also find previous episodes of this campaign and many others on YouTube, where we would love your likes and subscribes on our trek to 500 subscribers. We would also appreciate your subscription to this channel, but unlike Twitch, subscribing on YouTube is free. That out of the way, it is recap time. Brody, if you don't mind.
I do, but I'll do it anyways.
I mean, it's not mandatory. You don't have to.
Well, yeah. No, it's fine. So go back a couple weeks ago in Lifetime to a morning discussion among the Grey Wardens. They discussed their plans for how to get the entirety of Orlais to actually do something that will save itself. Raylath is assigned to speak to Florentine, Harold to speak to the minstrels, and Garrick to go to the up-and-coming knights. The people with the swords, not the times. In order to rally the forces we can to fight the Blight. Raylath, the baby maker of Orlais, is announced, and privately speaks to Florentine. Grabbing a glass of wine, he asks about their vineyards in the east, how it will affect them. She seems to think the Blight will head towards Tevinter, though, instead of Orlais. Raylath presents her with what will happen to her child if she bears a male or female child. Regardless of this, if she gives her child to the king and queen, it resolves as a bond between the houses, and the future child will be well off regardless, while helping keep unity between all the houses of Orlais. Florentine agrees to this suggestion, but he can tell that she agrees in the way that nobles do, which is they will change their mind when it suits them. Moving to another Grey Warden, we see Harold wandering around the city of Orlais to find a good breakfast beer. When he settles down, he buys 3 and waits for the minstrels that have been dogging them the entire time they've been in the city. He is eventually greeted by the female minstrel, saying that her brother, the other minstrel, is busy. Harold asks for the minstrels' help, but not to conscript them, rather to help promote people going to fight in this coming Blight. He wants them to push those who want to make a name for themselves as wardens, but others may be stirred to find glory following those brave knights who are willing to put their lives on the line. Harold also offers to the minstrel the option of running away from her and her brother's bindings in the court, and perhaps joining some of his other contacts, but apparently they're too good for a little second story work. The minstrels, though, do raise the issue of the Siege of Navarre, a rumor that has been spreading around the city, but it turns out that it is not in fact a siege. Rather, the entirety of the Blight Horde has bypassed the city completely, which means that the Horde is likely heading directly for the city of Orlais. Dun dun dun!
All right. Thank you to Devin for taking notes, and thank you to Brody for reading the recap. And thank you to my cat for also demanding entertainment concurrent with all of this.
Well, and thank you to my cat for being adorable and snuggly.
My cat is also adorable and sometimes snuggly, but this is why I've got the laser pointer at my desk. Anyway, with all of that, we shall begin. So, uh, at the very first, because also it's been a while since we've played. I'm going to give a brief recap. So, you are in Valroyo, the capital of the Orlesian Empire. Empire is being a little generous about it. Uh, so, the current structure is you've got Emperor Olivier Gaubert Sebastien de Valle. He is middle-aged, around 48 years old. He was not able, for whatever reason, to have children with his first wife, Delphine, Delphine Marie Archambault. So they are still technically married. However, Delphine is currently in the Chantry, while the Emperor is carrying on with two other women, Corinne and Florentina. Uh, but all of that sort of pales because there's a dark spawn at the gates. Not necessarily at the gates. You do have a couple hours to decide what to do. Um, but also, just as a couple more reminders, you also have Tylus van Markham. He is a Navarran noble who has made a name for himself fighting in the Orlesian Exalted Marches. He claims to be a direct descendant of Contelius Dracon, and thus rightful heir to the throne of Navarre. Who knows what he will do after the Blight to pursue those claims? You also have Leanna. She is the leader of the Red Jennies in Valroyo. She is an elf-blooded human raised by her elven mother in the alienage. Um, and then Badwan and Amet, the brother-sister bards slash minstrels who you met. Mother Felicienne is the local voice of the divine. And Etienne Alrund is Knight Captain of the Templars. He is half Ferelden and half Orlesian. And Derek, a dwarf who is currently masquerading as a dwarven noble, but because he has tattoos on his face, after all the time that you spent in Orton Tide, you're like, wait, no, them's a criminal.
You know what? More importantly, he's an ally because we know that
Yes.
that we know.
Mhm.
You okay, Steve?
No, I'm not. I I love the long list of names like Etienne Flamberg and Derek.
I, honestly, when I was writing some of these names, I was like, Emperor.
Just
Uh,
the hard
Get
left
it-
turn
get
at
the
the
list.
end.
And John.
And
all right. And so, the current state of your forces are the dwarves of Ortantai, the Marcher Knights, the the other Grey Wardens, more on that later, uh, Tylus von Markham's mercenaries. Theoretically, you also have at your disposal, within the walls, the Royal Army of Orlais and the combined assorted noble forces of Orlais. So, the bells are tolling.
My friends, those are not the bells of marriage.
Yes, these are the alarm bells that begin ringing in the easternmost quarter of the city and quickly spread. And it is not much longer beyond that before a couple of runners arrive, covered in road dust, some amount of blood, and they are exhausted. And they say that give word. The Darkspawn horde has been spotted, making their way to Val Royale. So, here is the first thing that you must decide as PCs. So, you must figure out what you can do within the next several hours to rally the city and defend it. You will also need to organize a plan for how you will get close to the Archdemon, who you would assume, based on everything you know about Darkspawn, will be in the center of the Horde. And this is when I, as Game Runner, are going to remind you, only a Grey Warden can kill an Archdemon. And that comes at sacrifice to themselves. So, you might want to figure that out as well. Of course, you have the alternate option given to you much, much earlier in this game. So, we are just gonna do a smash cut.
Sorry, what's this alternate option?
The band.
Make a baby.
Baby maker.
Oh, okay.
You know what? Yeah, if you don't know about it in character, you can ask about it in character and find out that way.
I mean, Raylath.
No.
Raylath.
No.
This is your expertise, friend.
This is your
No.
wheelhouse. I mean,
helping someone make a baby one time, and something becomes it becomes a thing.
All of a sudden,
hey, I mean, you can help us end the blight by helping one more time.
So
Raylith, help build the bridge. Do they call you Raylith the bridge builder? No.
So as not speaking as Jurgen, but just throwing it out there as the person who plays Jurgen, and Jurgen is the medic and the doctor amongst the group. I don't think Rolith can make a baby in 5 hours. Like, I don't quite think that's how that works.
Technically, neither could Morrigan and whoever
Alistair.
else.
Okay,
But they made
technically
it
you
happen.
only need. Okay, you
You-
know
you
what?
just
Technically,
need-
you only need 5 minutes, really,
I was gonna say,
to
Yeah,
you
get
really,
all the
you-
important work out of the
If
way.
you're
Yeah.
really wanting to hedge your bets, there are plenty of brothels.
Look,
But you need a mage woman.
so the baby
Hey,
doesn't have to.
I mean,
so the baby doesn't have to exist yet. Like
we've got Pietra,
Conception, not delivery.
conception, not delivery.
Exactly.
and I mean,
I'm sorry.
we've got
I
got Pietra, and she is kind of interested in him.
I am just putting. I'm putting a no. Pietra didn't Pietra have a husband? No, I'm putting a firm no down on signing a baby up for a lifetime of who the hell knows what hardship, purely because we didn't want to deal with the problem.
Fine.
no.
Garrick will just die. Seriously.
This is based in a BioWare setting, so somebody having a husband does not rule anything out.
I
No,
mean,
yeah, you're right, and
I'm just gonna say, these are desperate times, which require desperate measures. All you would really need to do is convince her to consent, which would, we can play that scene if that's how you want to go. But
yeah,
so,
no.
I have a question, and it's slightly inappropriate, so apologies ahead of time. But to get her to consent in the RPG, do we just give a whole bunch of gifts and until the lycometer is high enough?
I have been
all right.
styling
So-
chocolate cake units for
I
the
gave.
entire game, and I can.
'Cause if
Okay.
You, yeah, if you give
I got-
women a locket and some cheese. Right? Like,
Okay, so
I'm
I'm pretty sure the
going-
cheese is doing the heavy lifting.
I am going to be an apologist for this. It is not necessarily the gifts, it is the thought that went into them. So if you're like, hey, I saw these flowers and it made me think of you. Oh, you're so sweet. Or like, hey, I remember you talking to me about, like, your mother's amulet that you smashed. Well, I found it. And it turns out that, like, your foster father loved you more than you think he did.
Well, and also that not only did I know you like this flower, so I bought you one. It's I found a vendor who sold a stack of 100 of them. Do you want to have a cutscene with me now?
Okay. I'm back.
Okay.
I-
Alright.
I just have to cut back because I got cut out.
Everybody's in the wrong boxes now.
Not for much longer.
But
Okay. Thank you,
Is it-
Steve.
aren't there certain characters whose gifts they prefer you to give them as alcohol?
Yes, that's also true.
But you cannot romance either of them.
Okay. You can just give them a whole bunch of booze. Got it.
All right,
Yes.
so plan B is Raylith, and Raylith does his thing.
No, that was never Plan B. That was never on the list of plans.
Raylith is not consenting to this, let alone the other party.
Okay.
Alright, well, okay, so we
so
are going to smash cut to the
Smash
Emperor's
cut.
War.
Hey.
Cut a scene.
I'm sorry, Rachel. I apologize. It was
You
there,
have
it
all
had to be
been
said.
indoors way too long. Alright, so we are going to smash cut to the Emperor's War Room. This is a room. It is fairly large. It is dominated by a very big table on which is a fairly detailed map of Thetis. Probably one of the more accurate in existence. And of course, on the walls are trophies, just amazing, fantastic beasts, war banners taken in battle, clearly bragging about the military accomplishments of the Orlesian Empire. So, in the room is the Emperor. Neither of his mistresses are here. But you also have Tylus von Marken, and I'm the worst GM ever. I forget his name.
Derek.
Etienne Alrund. He is also here, along with a few other minor functionaries. And so, the king is very grimly, or the emperor, he's very grimly looking over the table, which of course has all those little markers delineating troops. And because he's not sure how big the horde is, essentially just like one big dragon miniature. And then nothing else.
I totally get where that's coming from. I have used so many standing minis as like in his position.
This
Sorry.
counts as 10,000.
Exactly.
And so he looks to you, Garrick. Says, is it possible to send word to the other Grey Wardens? Can they make it in time?
Make it in time? That's questionable. Can we send word? Sure, we can send word. Maker, do we have extra griffins to send out? Or
You have
just
one.
Rayliths?
You have Rayliths.
Okay.
So, you have the military lore focus, yes?
Yes.
Alright, go ahead and give me that roll. And the higher you roll, the more information you get.
Well, that's not great. Do dragon dice do anything for this?
How many stunt points did you generate?
3.
Okay, what was the total?
Let me look. I was just that's a +3, 5, so that's 9, 12.
Okay. Alright.
Not roll
So
well.
Here is the one thing that becomes immediately apparent to you. You can send a messenger to immediately summon the other Grey Wardens in the field. who are in and around the Free Marches, Antiva, etc., etc. If you send them by Griffin, it will only take a few hours. So it will take some time to get there, deliver the message, muster the armies, everyone get your shit together. So here is the other choice that makes itself readily apparent to you. So what are you getting all giggly over?
No. The other readily apparent choice I'm thinking is the fact that we have Griffin. We have means to just go directly to, if we could distract all the other ones, we could go directly to the Archdemon.
To
You have one Griffin.
Yeah.
To that end, Warden Commander, I have an idea.
All right, so let me throw this other piece of information out to you, and you can roleplay as you wish. So, here's what you can do: is you can send an army out to meet the currently marching Darkspawn Horde. This will delay them, and it will buy the city a couple hours. However, casualties for whomever you send will be high. Essentially, you're asking them to do
Stalling
Spartans
tactic.
at Thermopylae. Now, what you could also do is draw everyone back behind the walls. The Horde will arrive sooner, giving you less time to prepare your defenses, but once they arrive, you should be essentially at full strength.
How much of an army would we need to send out for it to be effective?
So, you've got the Dwarves of Ortontaig. You have the Marcher Knights. You could persuade and or conscript the Emperor to either assemble the Royal Army of Orlais or the assorted noble guards of Orlais. And you could also send out Tylus von Markham's mercenaries. So,
Okay.
those are your options.
Could I suggest a strategy, Warden Commander?
Sure.
So this all ends if we can get to the Archdemon and take it down, right?
Mm-hmm.
My suggestion, the single best defensible position in the entire region is the city itself. My suggestion would be to either send forces out and away so that they're not in the line, and to double back and try and hit the army from the rear. Or we simply use the city itself to break the line and force the Archdemon closer to the front so we can take it out and just deal with it.
Okay, so you're saying either backpedal and pick them off from behind, or just stand ground.
Either way, the end is we need to get to the Archdemon in range of us.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what else happens, right? If we can, they're going to squeeze against the walls, which means whatever depth there is to the Horde is going to fall away, because either they're going to press up and be held back, and what's behind will push up, or they're going to surround the city, and still everything will come closer.
Mm-hmm.
It also means that we're basically saying the city is on the chopping block. Because, Maker, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stories of the horrors when the Archdemon dies isn't that they all just fall over and die, right? They just go crazy. They lose direction.
It's a little from column A, a little from column B. Some die, some are unleashed. However,
the battle doesn't end when the Archdemon goes down. It's just that the blight is over.
The head is gone.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, so yeah, regardless, we need to make sure that we have access to killing demon.
Out of curiosity,
Hmm.
there are things that the Archdemon would want. such as certain artifacts that can be used to bring about something worse than an archdemon, right? Certain artifacts that we found previously in a
Oh.
Grey Warden stronghold that theoretically could have been used to summon like some mega
Dal-
archdemon.
Daleth?
Dumont.
Dumont, yeah.
Thank you. I imagine
So
the archdemon probably would be curious, like would probably be invested in getting those things back, right?
so those were not necessarily artifacts of summoning, they were artifacts of worship.
Oh, for some
And
reason I
you
thought that they could. I thought we discovered that they could be used to bring him back. I thought they were
No.
components of a ritual or something that could be used at the altar, and that's why we decided to split them up and get them away from the altars because we felt that they could be used to summon him.
So that is a
Or
conclusion
freeing
that you have arrived at.
Okay,
The information you have.
gotcha.
As a Grey Warden, you would know that you really can't negotiate with archdemons. You
It
can't.
wasn't about negotiating. It was more about like using them to lure it.
Look at the artifact.
That is a viable
Artifact.
strategy, yes.
Look at,
Jurgen, I think you are muted, so we can't hear you.
All we can see is the hands.
yeah, well, I should have done it. I was going, look at the artifact. Look at the artifact.
Yeah.
And go get it.
Fetch. Yeah, go get it.
Come on here, little archdemon. Come on.
Damn it.
Come and get it. Chase the light. Chase the red light.
So, Maker.
Yes, that is a viable strategy to be like, hey, come look at this cool shiny thing over here.
Look at the treat. Look at the treat.
On that kind of note, is there an emergency exit for royalty from that castle?
From the castle, yes, but not outside this city.
Okay. Dang.
It would be inappropriate.
And if you want ways outside the city, I know some people.
Ways that involve not being seen by an entire horde?
Have you met me?
Fair.
You're aware of what I did before I was a Grey Warden, right?
Yeah, but that's a horde.
Maker, am I crazy to think that Harold might have some contacts and/or people who might know how to smuggle things in and out of the city without being noticed?
You could, yes.
So if we've got a shiny, I can get it out without being seen.
Well, I'm not so much thinking of talking about getting the shiny out of the city separately from us. I'm thinking of using it to draw the archdemon to us. Because we need to be where it is. So we want to ideally control where it ends up so that we can face it in a place that's advantageous to us.
Okay, so
I would
What
feel
is
it would
the
be
highest
inappropriate if I did not remind everyone that we have a defensible position and know exactly where the archdemon is going. Warden Commander, I know that I come across as heartless, but this city and its defenses are merely here to distract and die for us so that we can kill the archdemon.
though they are here to help make sure we kill them, we would hopefully be able to prevent as much loss as possible while doing it, though.
Hope as much as you want. Make the decision that is necessary.
So where in this city is the best spot for us to face the archdemon? Is the question then.
The answer to that question is not in the city, out in the field.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. Because anywhere where in the city, it might be flying around.
No,
Which
it's
would make
gonna
it
be
even
flying
harder.
around the field too.
Yes. If you really want to pursue that strategy, then the best place to lure the archdemon would be one of the towers of the Palace of Val Royale. Those are the tallest structures in the city. And the archdemon, it's a dragon, it can fly, it likes landing on tall tall spaces. It's like a cat that way.
Very cinematic. Yeah.
It also, but for what
So
it's worth, if we could get the archdemon to come to one of those towers, then it doesn't have the horde around it that we'd have to navigate.
That's exactly what I was
True.
what I was going for. Is that
So-
it separates the archdemon from the rest of the horde.
So,
The armies can be focused on defending the walls, but for the most part, the armies don't have to necessarily go out to meet the horde in the field. It limits casualties. Obviously, there's the potential for the archdemon itself to deal some casualties, but hopefully, it'll be coming after us and these implements, and not so much worried about picking off random people on the walls. All we need to do is worry about getting, civilians, innocents, non-combatants away from the palace, away from the walls, and
Interestingly, they're kept away from the palace because they don't want them there usually.
well, I mean, the palace has plenty of like servants and handmaids and such that probably also need to be removed. But
So it sounds like we're kind of going down the forces arrayed to help us are there to keep the horde busy while we draw out the archdemon at the top of the
at the
castle.
top of the castle tower.
and
then-
come down with an archdemon dragon, the four of us?
well,
I'm sh-
yeah, basically.
And maybe any other Grey Wardens we can find?
Yeah. Sounds like a good plan.
I mean, it sounds like a terrible plan, but it's probably better than other things.
True.
The Grey Wardens that you can find. You can send word to them. That's the thing that will take some time to accomplish. And so, while you are standing around the table, having this discussion, Olivier, Emperor Olivier, just seems gobsmacked. This is not something that he ever imagined himself having to do with, and he just sort of watches your repartee, having nothing interesting to send. And it's about 5 or 10 minutes into this war conference where it's bang, 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 bang on the door, and the guards open it, and it is any number of messengers from the noble houses and from other people asking the king, what do we do? How do we protect this quadrant of the city? Where do we send the guard? And you don't even have to roll for this. All of you can just immediately tell. He freezes. He has no idea what to do.
When he freezes, I move up to him and start singing a song of friendship and unity. I'm going to use my new bardic ability to give him bonuses on... Let me see if I have the... mechanically, it adds a bonus to etiquette, investigation, persuasion, and seduction tests. But what I want to use it as, to kind of shake him out of his frozen state, a song about the responsibilities, but also the memory of past or Legion lords.
Okay. Give me a communication roll, please.
Would this be deception, performance, or persuasion?
Well, that depends on what you're trying to do. Are you trying to lie to him? Are you trying to persuade him? Or are you trying to inspire him?
Sounds like inspire to me.
Yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
inspiration. I can't make him in my mold, but I can try and get him to do his goddamn job.
Okay.
So that's going to be...
So it is a base requirement of 11. The higher you roll, the better you will have done.
I will tell you, it is impossible for me to get under a 12. I'm sorry. No, under a 10. So let's see how that goes. No, 12. Yeah. That's a 22 with 5 stunt points.
Excellent. Alright, so as I narrate what happens next, go ahead and look over the stunt points and see if there's anything you want to spend them on. So, as you sort of sidle up to the Emperor, and you sing your song of inspiration. Watching the way that he reacts to your song, a couple things become immediately clear. Uh, he does not know what to do. His whole life he was trained on court politics. Here is how you keep the nobles in line. Here is how you make a good showing at a joust. Nothing in his education except maybe he played some war games on holiday weekends with his buddies. Nobody taught him, here's what you do if there is a blight.
Would you allow a variation of either Enrage or Tower of Will that instead of granting it to me for the boost, I am trying to instill within the strength of character and anger at how dare this blight attempt to harm my city and my people. I'm trying to break him out of the freeze response and into a fight response.
You can, but once he gets to a fight response, he still has no idea what to do.
Well, that's also why there's that 22 performance, which is rely upon your advisors for the specifics, but we need you to be the force that leads us.
Okay, and so as you are singing this song, another messenger busts into the room. This is someone who is wearing the clothes that you would expect of someone dedicated to the chantry, a lay sister or brother. Dashes and says, Your Grace, I am so sorry. I could not stop her. I could not stop her.
Oh,
So,
what did the queen do?
she is coming. She is coming straight for here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm cool with this. Let her in.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
that's fine.
a couple minutes later, Delphine shows up, and so
Can I in those couple of minutes, can I talk to the king, the emperor? I had meant to do this beforehand and just never got the chance. I just want to pull him aside for
absolutely
half a
can.
second. Okay. I'm going to pull him aside so that nobody else can immediately overhear. And I'm just going to point blank ask him, do you love your wife? Did you ever love your wife?
This is such a time to be asking.
It is, and it's an important question, so answer it.
It is,
It's a simple yes or no question. Did you ever love your wife?
at the beginning, yes, of course I did. Why does this matter now?
I'll explain that in a minute.
Because, oh Lord, she a
Do
coming.
you... what made you stop loving her exactly?
It, too much heartbreak.
And so
Her,
you abandoned her, cast her aside for someone else.
it is not like that.
Isn't it?
I
She
would,
was banished to the Chantry after several attempts on her life, and there are two other women currently standing on either side of you, ready to take that position, depending on which one is more profitable to you.
sir,
This
you
could
are,
very well be the last couple hours that you have in this position of power or in this world at all. And so I think that this is probably the best time to face this particular question and decide whether or not you are the type of man who will go to your grave having cast aside a woman who loved you and who you once loved, or if you are someone who is willing to stand beside her and do the right thing. If so, maybe you go
so,
down in history as a hero. Otherwise, you're just a scoundrel.
so you can tell that you have made him extremely angry with this.
Good.
I would not expect a mage to understand such things.
Yada yada yada. It's a
You
simple
have
question. You figure it out, and I'll walk
you
away
have
from it.
no understanding of what it is like to be someone in my position. Whatever I felt with Delphine, whatever she was to me, it does not matter in light of my duty to Orlais and to my family, which is to produce an heir.
Did you know that I've actually spoken with several people whose view of your duty probably matters quite a bit, and one of whom happens to be bearing a child of yours. And she was, the very least, amenable to the possibility of you and your wife formally adopting the child that she gives birth to, giving you an heir while still being able to honor the woman that you loved and that you married. And I did that in 2 days to find a possible solution. It seems to me that King, with all the resources at your disposal that you have, probably should have tried a little bit harder.
You do not understand how the game is played in Orlais.
Fuck the game. If the game is what matters to you, fine, you're that kind of king. If a woman that you cared about and loved and that you married and gave vows to matters to you, then you're a better kind of man. I'll leave it to you to decide which is important. Either
cannot
way,
put
your wife
one
is on your way
woman.
here.
I cannot put one woman, no matter how much I love her, ahead of the entire kingdom. That would be selfish, it would be folly.
Has your solution solved any problems for Orlais? Do your nobles plan to undermine you more now than they did before? Because I happen to know that there are several who were really unhappy with the way you handled things, which caused more of a rift, more division, especially now with everything going on, where we had to sweep up your messes to try and unify some sort of a defense. So be mad at me if you want to, but it's worth asking the question whether or not you want to be a good man or a mediocre king.
So he will then turn to Garrick. Warden Commander, I demand that you reprimand this mage. You can see he kind of wanted to say something else, because Relad is an elf, right, as well?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He puts all of that hate in just the word mage. Doesn't say anything about your ears, but it's quite clear.
Carol has already sidled up next to Rayleth and just kind of whispers to him, "You're my favorite now," and walks away.
Rayleth.
Damn it.
He pretends that he understands imperial politics and has clearly been meddling in my private life.
Somebody.
Rayleth. Front and center. Gonna make it look like I'm about to go and do the whole spiel of reprimanding him and say, so you're taking charge of the mage unit we're going to have. Completely ignore the fact that he's telling me to reprimand him and continuing focusing on the fact of what we're about to do.
My plan was to divide them up so that each quarter of or each quadrant district, however we're dividing the zones up in the city, so that each one has a cadre of mages to support them.
Good plan. All right, carry on.
I'll start sending messages out to the lieutenants, I guess.
And if you can, we might need you to loan your griffin out to a messenger so that they can inform some of the troops around Orlais to gather for the battle.
Do you want that messenger to be a mage?
At this point,
I can't explain how, but somehow rumors start spreading even within the War Council, just kind of like not in any main conversation, but quietly around the edges, that Rayleth may in fact be a long-lost king of the elven
Don't
world,
do this.
which is
All
why
right, so
you king.
no, that does not happen because you have not made the roll
Thank you.
for it. And interrupting any attempt you have to circulate this rumor is Queen Delphine. So she has essentially clearly been planning for this because she is wearing a very nice, very fancy brocade gown, but is also has it's kind of a mix of chainmail and plate mail. It's nothing that you would wear in the field, but it all fits her. It fits the rest of her outfit, and on the whole is a very much imposing Queen Elizabeth at the front lines facing the Spanish Armada type thing. Uh, and so she just rolls into the room like a tornado. Just says, ah. And so she greets, Monsieur von Markham, it is good to see you. Warden Commander, it is good to see you. Emperor, she gives the polite expected curtsy, but basically bare minimum. And then like leans over the war table, the map, like, yes. I have deployed the city guard to the eastern quadrant of the city. Warden Commander, is it your recommendations that we begin evacuation, or should we plan to shelter in place?
I believe it would be best to shelter in place, as this city is likely to be surrounded.
I shall inform my minstrels. It is not their usual method of disseminating information, but they will be quite adept at making things known. All right. Very well. And so you see that the king has just sort of wilted under the reappearance of his wife and the tongue lashing that Rayleth gave him, which, as angry as it made him, is clearly doing some shit to his inner psychology.
Rayleth is going to, when it's appropriate time, he's going to say, Your Majesty, you look quite nice. Thank you for joining us.
Yes. I appreciate the compliment, but with all due respect, now is not the time. We have a city to save.
Rayleth's just going to give the king a little
Hey, Garrick,
kind of like side eye, and then
Garrick is going to be standing next to the queen because he knows who else is in charge of this room with him.
Hey, yeah, no, hey Rayleth, quietly, not for. I think we know who wears the dress in this family.
So, Warden Commander, what is the strategy?
We go over the strategy of attracting the archdemon to the tower, allowing the other smaller army around to help try and rout them and get them from the other end, so that it kind of slows down the tracks as we gain grounds while maintaining a minimum loss of life. What else did we say?
Do you think? And so she looks at the four of you. I do not know much about how Grey Wardens ink lights. I simply know that one of them is necessary. 4 is 4 enough.
All it takes is one.
I imagine that there will be multiple casualties getting close enough to the archdemon.
Likely, but hopefully the archdemon will come to us and rout that possibility.
I see. So, the plan, as I understand it, is we move you to the top tower. You do your archdemon attraction spell? I don't need to know. It's not important. What happens to the rest of the horde? Do they not follow the archdemon?
they'll try.
If it's like previous hordes, Some will die, but they will lose their focus.
No. I mean, the archdemon comes to the tower. It is still alive at this time. What is it commanding the rest of the horde to do?
They'll likely try to swarm the walls, break down the gates.
Siege.
The job of the assembled forces in this city is to buy us time with the archdemon separated from its horde.
I
Focus
see.
not on killing as many as possible, but on keeping as many of yourselves alive.
Keeping them outside the walls is the
Mhm.
most important thing.
Will the archdemon focus, do you think, only on the eastern gates, or will they swarm over all of them?
It depends on the intelligence of this archdemon and how much we can affect its capacity.
We
They're
shall
approaching
assume that
from
the
which-
archdemon is a battle master.
They're approaching from which direction?
East.
It's actually ideal to. It's probably ideal to have them. I don't think we want the entire horde amassed against a single gate, because they'll be able to bring a lot more force against that point of incursion than we're able to bring in defense in that, just because of limited space. I think we probably want the horde to attack, essentially surround the city.
If the eastern gate and defenses are strong enough, they're going to try and surround the city anyways.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be able to hit one gate alone.
We don't know if they know that. They may try anyways. So it may be ideal to see if there's a way that we can draw them into surrounding the city from the get-go.
We understand. And so she starts moving little figurines around on the war table, which all bear the insignia of the City Watch. And so after moving them around a little bit, like, okay, what about this positioning? What about this positioning?
Can I make another recommendation? I think it would be beneficial if we were to take units from each different force that we have mustered and form them all, basically divide each unit up between the different sectors of the city under the command of the City Watch, effectively, so that you don't have any one unit that is all amassed on one gate and another unit amassed on another gate. I believe that will likely result in a somewhat more unified fighting force, and also it spreads casualties around a little bit more.
That is good, because otherwise we would not have enough forces to adequately protect every gate. And as she says this, she throws a look to the Emperor.
Out of character. I love the shade.
Empress is the real title of Orlais.
The Empress is the real reason why they were doing so well in fights a long time ago.
Empress of Fire.
Very well. So, what forces do we have at our disposal?
The forces given to us previously, your husband had offered us 1,000 of your troops. Van Markham has offered us at least 700, and out of character, I don't remember if there were any more.
There were... sorry, go ahead.
The dwarves and the Marcher Knights.
Yeah, dwarves and Marcher Knights. That's right.
Well, also, wasn't there... Oh, what was this? Hold on. Too many names to try to keep track of. There was a pin, I think, in a previous episode.
Also, a lot of that conversation was about taking forces from Orlais. We are now in right now, everybody who is going to stick around in Val Royeaux to protect things like storage houses and homes, I think there's a strong incentive that we conscript them as defenders of the city, because it's not going to do them much good if they protect one warehouse when everything around them is darkspawn.
To be perfectly honest, uh, and so Delphine says this as she looks to her husband. I am taking control of the Devalier forces and Zero Legion army. And like her husband has just like he's basically a pile of old lettuce.
Ew.
Cheryl gives her the look of, I wasted that much energy on trying to get you up to actually do something.
Didn't
Uh,
Fernand
however-
also offer additional troops after my discussion with him?
Yes.
Okay, was sure.
So, is the forces under my command, under the command of the Royal Throne of Orlais, warrior commanders, they're at your disposal. I ask that you not spend their lives too cheaply, but other than that, do what you will with them. If you need more soldiers, the other families, they have respectable forces of themselves, which, if I know them at all, are currently on their way to protect their estates within the city.
I might also know some people who could help with keeping anybody from getting from a taken gate to the castle center too easily.
Uh, and
But
so,
Your Majesty, I would prefer not to discuss that in front of you as
so you say that, and then another messenger runs in, an elf, very shabby clothing.
Hey.
Darkspawn in the alienage. And that is where we are going to take a very quick break, not too long, because we're only gonna have a short show, but we're gonna take 5 minutes to refresh and water and figure out what to do about Darkspawn and the alienage.
Time to
Alright.
make those Jennies red. Goodbye.
All right, we return. Thank you for sticking with us through our 10-minute, 5-minute break. We reopen in the war room. An elven messenger has just crashed in, saying that darkspawn have been spotted in the alienage.
As your cat walks by.
As my
As
cat
the
walks by.
darkspawn walks by.
I hope you got to watch when I put his face in front of the camera.
Yes. Okay, so what's the fastest way to the alienage, and are there people there ready to defend from the alienage, or
Follow me.
Yeah,
Harold's already grabbed his bow. He's already starting to head out the door.
all right. Yes, Harold immediately knows the fastest way to get to the alienage. Also, what Harold would know, and what I would presume he would no doubt convey, is the rest of the city doesn't like it when the elves are armed. So there's like cooking oil and kitchen knives is essentially the extent of how much weaponry they have.
Yeah.
A few of us might be a little bit better armed, but we certainly don't let people know about it.
Exactly.
I want to send a message for I don't know, three of the mages under my command to meet us there, including Pietra, because I can trust her. I don't know how many mages I've got, by the way. It's a number of mages.
And question, how many, which healing is better? Blood magic
Not
or
getting
just
stabbed in the first place.
Well,
Sorry.
yeah, but blood magic is the best form of healing, or no?
All right. So, to answer Ben's question, you have 12 mages. It doesn't sound like that much, but then they start throwing fireballs, and it's a lot, actually.
I take it back. I'm gonna bring 2 mages with me then.
Okay, cool.
A force multiplier?
Speaking of force multiplier, to answer Garrick's question, that essentially is what blood magic is. It is a force multiplier for other magic. So, you want to cast a fireball? It's 10 meters normally. You want to add some blood to that? Congratulations, you've got 15-meter diameter fireball. So, healing magic? So it's a little, I'm trying to think of the word contradictory, but essentially someone sheds their blood, and powers healing magic. You do get healed for a little bit more than you would normally.
Okay.
But now someone else is bleeding and injured is the trade-off.
Yeah, but it would be the equivalent of if somebody got like really badly injured for a moderate injury instead. Either way, they can heal people. Either way, yeah.
If there is any way to signal to any of the criminal underbelly and or red jennies that could be done on the way, Harold's going to do it, but otherwise it's just planning on being like, I'm assuming Grey Wardens are following me. I'm going to start shooting Darkspawn real fast.
All right. Go ahead and give me a communication roll, please.
Hey.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea though. Anybody who uses blood magic today only, free pass, kill Darkspawn, and we won't say anything.
You got 2 seconds.
Nope.
So you say that, but essentially what you're asking is, become a Grey Warden because the Templars are going to watch and they will not forget.
Yeah.
I got a 17 with 4 stunt points.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh, I will also, once we get closer, I will start singing the war song so everybody gets +1 to their attack.
Alright, so, Harold has dashed off to the Elven Quarter. What about the other 3 of you?
I'd be following Harold because I'd presume he'd know the fastest way.
Same.
Also, while kind of ordering around to make sure that, since I'm still commanding, orders to everyone else, maintain the lines, just send, X number of units to help defend the alienage.
Where are you?
Okay, what about Rayleth and Jurgen?
Greylath is also following, like I said, other than sending a message to those couple of mages to meet us there. Greylath is ready to roll.
And Jurgen.
Before rolling out, I was hoping to give advice and information to anyone that is going to be acting as triage medics. So, if we have any doctors, awesome. If not, I need launders and I need seamstresses. I need any clean piece of cloth that you can find in the city, and I need all the needle and thread you can muster. And inform them if there is darkspun. Yep,
What about dirt?
that's my thing. I don't think we can't have other people rubbing dirt in wounds. It goes poorly. That's the Jurgen special.
But I did it once.
How'd that go again?
Not bad.
But I'll be talking to like the head of each kind of little individual medic unit, and just be like, the single most important thing is if someone comes in with injury, you must close their wound as quickly as possible. The number one threat with darkspawn is the infection of darkspawn blood.
Okay.
If you see any darkspawn blood, and I'll describe it as it's kind of black and it has its special kind of textures. If any blood is found in the mouth of one of your patients, bless you.
Pardon me. Sorry about that.
If any darkspawn blood is found within the mouth of one of your patients, the only thing to do is to kill them at that point in time immediately. There is no returning.
Eric
And
just has
they-
an expression.
Unless they're Grey Warden, don't kill them if they get Darkspawn and Darkspawn blood in their Grey Wardens.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so sneezy all of a sudden. I have no idea why.
Damn you, Lessipa!
I'm not allergic to him, I don't think, but I did repowder my makeup, so that might have been it.
Praise the dark kitty lord.
So, basically just trying to, whoever is going to be the point of contact for medics, I'm going to tell them, like I said, get your launders to clean things as quickly as possible, get your seamstresses to be your suture person, and tell them about the blood, if it seems as though the wound is not infected with darkspawn blood, they're good to go. If they have any in their mouth, immediately. And
Fair.
then I will join the Grey Warden peeps.
The Grey Warden peeps.
Yep.
They're little yellow marshmallow ducks wearing gray plate.
Oh, Grey Wardens.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, any prep I was going to do has been thrown out the window when somebody said Alien Age Darkspawn in the same sentence.
True. Yep.
The only other prep I was going to ask for was, hey, Jurgen, how many bombs can you make?
Right now?
After I said, hey, here's how you run a medic station, none. That's about as much I can get out before it's time to go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, pretty much.
If we had time, one of my thoughts was, we bring it to the tower, and what happens if the tower just goes boom?
Well, you could. Not gonna say you can't.
But don't kill the archdemon in any meaningful way.
Once it goes boom, then we just stab it.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's two ways to make it go boom. Either that, or you harpoon with some rocks at the other end, and then you just drag it to the ground.
Can we think about this after we kill the Darkspawn that
Alienage.
are
Alienage.
trying to murder my entire extended family and everybody I know?
All
Hey,
right.
you know us.
So
Let's
you
go.
arrive at the alienage. it's clear that the elves here have done the best they could to hold against the darkspawn. There are some darkspawn corpses on the ground already. There are some elven corpses on the ground already. Uh, and so you have the mages that you sent for, doing their best to essentially hold the line and keep the darkspawn from attacking the elves. It seems clear, based on what you see, that the darkspawn, it seems as though they took the sewer route to arrive here. You're not sure why here, who knows? But there are 5 darkspawn, an alpha, and an arcane horror. So, combat begins. So. Oh man, I opened the wrong DM screen.
Ah,
Alright, anyway, for initiative, everybody. Really? Really, really? I know, I sound like Farlak. So everyone go ahead and give me a dexterity roll, please.
I'm super fast. Cause I got a 20 with 5 stunt points if we could get them for movement.
Nice.
hey, I'm normally super fast, but I got a 10.
But hey, you got 3 stun points.
Yeah, but those don't apply on initiative rolls, I don't think.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I got 5 stun points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jurgen, did you get stun points on your roll?
I did. I got 1.
All of us got stun points.
Statistically speaking, that's not that unusual.
Alright. Hang on, let me enter that into my little combat tracker thing. Alright, Jurgen, what did you get?
12.
Okay, Rayleth.
17.
Okay, Garrick.
20.
And Harold.
10.
Nice.
That's
I think Harold thinks he's going to go into this like just bow ablazing, and is actually stunned briefly at seeing the carnage in his home.
Sounds good.
Maker, I will point out that thing that happened a while ago. There is a possibility I might ask to have a conversation with that. That might get a little spicy.
What thing?
The thing that we don't talk about because it happened quietly and secretly in the Fade.
You're gonna have to remind me. You can type it in a Discord message if you don't want to reveal it on camera, but I'm sorry. What was your initiative?
10.
10, okay.
And I don't know if this actually counts as an action or not because we really haven't gotten to use it. But I am activating Guardian mode on Rayleth or Harold. Who wants it?
What does
I wanna
Guardian
go
do
in
exactly?
probably.
Stand next to me and take less damage.
I'm probably going in melee because I've got a silverite weapon.
Then Harold,
Works for me.
because he's going to be the one closest to me.
Alright, cool. Check my secret messages. All right. Garrett, you get to go first.
So between the arcane horror and the alpha, which one's uh, deadlier to my knowledge?
Go ahead and give me cunning. Your dark spawn bonus would apply.
11 plus 5, 16.
Okay. So in that case, arcane horrors really good at dealing magic, so would not be difficult for them to cast a couple fireballs. Uh, the alpha, arcane horrors are also vulnerable to physical damage. So you shoot lightning bolts at them, they all bounce off. You hit it with an axe, ow, pain, it goes down. With the Genlock Alpha, it's almost the opposite. They do a lot of physical damage, they're susceptible to magical attacks.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go after that arcane horror then, and whip out a bastard sword, and see what's what.
Okay.
3, 6, 8 plus 7 does a 15 hit.
Yes, it does.
Okay, and that is with 2 stunt dice, so I think that's just an extra d6 for lethal attack, right? It is. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to use a mighty blow to do 3d6 plus 1 damage. So it's 7, 8 plus 6 and 7, so that's another 15 damage to it.
All right, so what's the total?
15.
Okay, awesome. So you whap it, you damage it, you can tell you've damaged it. Now its attention is focused on you. That may or may not be a good thing. How much magic damage can you soak? We'll find out. Is there anything else you would like to accomplish this turn?
Yes, but I don't think oh, yes, because did I have to move to get there? So do I still have a minor action?
Still have a minor action.
Okay, then I will take this moment to put myself in guard up mode to add to my defense. Basically, it's +2 because I want it to be. So I have +2 defense for this round at a detriment to me later on. Cool.
All right, Rayleth, it's your turn.
All right. So I think I am going to start off with a. It's a little bit of a buff spell. I should have specified that I was going to cast it before I got here, but that's all right. I'm going to cast Fade Shield on myself. So that's going to be 6 MP, but -1 because it's spirit, and I subtract 1, so it's 5. So that's going to bring me down to 76. I'm also going to spend an additional 6 MP to make it last for a total of 4 rounds. Yeah. I need to roll. Activate. Okay, perfect. Ooh, 6 stunt points.
Nice.
Magic stunts. Hooray. I used to have this written down, but I lost that notebook. So, spells. Blah, 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 blah. Spell stunts, right there. Table of contents. Gotta love it. I'm going to spend. Oh man, I wish I'd gotten that one wrong. That's okay. immediately cast another spell. It's like bonus casting major. Oh. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm using 2 for skillful casting to reduce the mana cost of that by 1, so that's going to give me 1 mana back. Then I'm going to spend 4 for fast casting to immediately turn around and cast mana drain on the arcane horror.
Excellent.
And so that's going to require fade armor or fade shield increases my spell power by 2. So it has to make a magic spirit test versus my spell power, which is currently a 19.
All right. Well, its magic is pretty good. Its spirit is pretty good. So.
Fingers crossed it fails.
And what's the target number? 19?
19.
Oh, 21.
Ow. All right. Does it do anything if they succeed against it? Is the question. I also have to do an activation roll on this, so that might actually allow me to bump up the spell power, depending. Sorry, pardon me 1 second while I'm having to jump back and forth pages to look up different spells. Did not
no
expect
worries.
to do 2 in 1 turn. There is no effect in that case, but I'm gonna roll. Come on, give me no stunt points. Damn. I don't think there's anything I can do to tweak that either. All right. Well, I think that is it then. Double checking. Make sure I don't get anything that would help me here. I don't believe I do. Okay. I'm going to be somewhere other than right next to the entire group in case there is a fireball. I'm also going to tell my little mage cohort buddies to spread out, stay behind the rest of us so they don't get, blitzed by Darkspawn. And I'm going to tell them not to bother wasting their magic on the Arcane Horror to target the lesser Darkspawn instead.
Okay.
And that is the end of my turn.
All right. Jurgen, it's your turn.
Which are either of these seem to be wearing armor specifically?
The Genlock Alpha is.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay, so taking the advice of Raylith, I will kind of move to leave space between everyone so we don't get fireballed. I will take out a flask from inside my cloak, and I will hurl it at the Alpha. Throwing one of my 3 acid flasks.
Okay.
Which... Let's take a look here. Does a 15 hit the Alpha?
That, in fact, will hit.
Perfecto. Heyo! That is 10 acid damage, and its armor rating is reduced by 1 permanently.
Nice.
As you know, I've been accumulating and making these vials, and as I've mentioned, words are good weapons, but so is acid. And I throw the acid vial.
It was acid.
And you just see it starts to burn and sizzle, but also eats away at the whatever type of armor this thing is wearing, leather or metal, giving a little tiny bit more options for my stabbers to stab.
Okay.
All right, and that is me.
All right. Garrick, please make me a dexterity acrobatics test.
What's acrobatics?
It is a focus in dexterity.
So
It's
long,
that
Garrick.
when you fight by moving.
Okay.
What happens when a fighter meets a wizard?
12. So that.
So your difficulty is 16.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I get 2 stunt points. Does that count?
No, it does not.
Then no, I
Okay.
fail. I fail by
Okay.
4.
All right.
Oh, baby.
All right, let me get some dirt ready.
All right. You take 11 points of damage as the arcane horror just lets loose with a ray of just pure magic that catches you just like right on the shoulder. Ow.
Now, magic is piercing, right?
Magic is magic. It's not necessarily piercing.
Does armor still take effect?
No. That
No?
was what the that's what the dexterity check was for. Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, I understand what you request. Yes, armor does matter.
Okay. So I have 11 armor. So do I get the half for piercing for that, or do I just get no damage?
That would be no damage.
Okay, then. Yeah. I knew that some of the magic specifically said that it had piercing effect, so.
Yeah, this spell in particular is not piercing.
Okay.
Okay. So,
We got Magic Guy Gardner over here just throwing like pure blah.
yeah,
Magic.
so it unleashes a magical attack, on you. This bolt of super wicked, really dangerous looking energy hits your armor, it dissipates, you're fine. A couple things happen next. So, the raven that has been following Harold Wynn around, Crishitum, it keels over. It's dead.
What the hell did you do?
Green fire erupts from no particular source, but it wraps around every darkspawn in this, and they just explode in a shower of ichor and gore and darkspawn pieces. All of them die. And
The fuck?
wardens, so here's what you notice. You know how like there's that iridescence in
Oh.
soap bubbles? You can see that sort of spread all over the alienage. And the only reason that you notice this is because the hum that you have heard ever since your joining of the Archdemon that you didn't even realize was a thing until just now when it's gone. The hum quiets. I said it's gone. I misspoke. It is still
Dim.
there, but it's quieter. Hang on, someone's
Look.
at my door.
Harold, what did you do?
We're currently paused in time, so I can't explain.
Sorry, let me do that again then. Since I couldn't open my mouth.
I think someone got an Amazon package.
Special delivery.
Accounts cable and me speaking.
Was that Lucifer's treats?
Alright. It is human treats. It is a package from a company called Shaker and Spoon. And if they want me to say anything more about that, they're gonna pay me.
All right.
Anyway.
Right, huzzah!
Indeed, thank you, Brody. Alright, so
Happy
I'm so
wedding.
sorry that interrupted at like the worst moment. So,
Wow, Harold Wynn causing real life chaos in this game.
you know what? Actually, well timed then. I revised my statement. So, the Darkspawn have erupted. This iridescent shield sort of forms over the alienage, and it reduces the hum that you hear in the back of your head from something. I don't know. It's been with you since joining. Uh, so Harold, what happens to you?
So I think the fair question is this a full body transformation or is this a uh avatar situation?
I would say an avatar situation, just sort of based on other people who have done what you did. They still retained their physical form.
So what you see is actually more what you hear. The reason, or one of the reasons that the hum in the back of your head has quieted is that there is almost like a counter harmonic at play coming from Harold's mouth. He's standing there, and at the moment, there is the same iridescent light that is forming over the alienage is pouring out of his eyes, his mouth, his ears, and a few of the scars that are still on his arms and legs from various injuries and battles. The song that you hear as you start to notice it begins to chant the words, "Not this place, not this time. May the city burn, but this tree remain."
Okay, so the Darkspawn have all exploded in gouts of hellfire. There is no more fight to be had. There is nothing left to fight. You all see this happen to Harold. The scene is yours.
What did you do?
Harold,
So, I'm going to interject. I'm so sorry. Just to clarify one point of setting doctrine. Grey Wardens are willing to accept blood magic, which is normally forbidden, because anything necessary to end a blight. Accepting demonic possession, less clear on if that's okay. Continue.
Harold turns and looks at Garrick. Eyes are still glowing, but the sound now is just kind of it has a life of its own and is not coming from his mouth. I'm making sure that one promise I have made is kept.
You know what you've just sacrificed of yourself for, right?
Yes.
Garrick just looks down at the bastard sword in his hand, looks at Harold.
Harold actually just stands there and is like, "I will help you fight the Darkspawn."
Don't make me use this on you afterwards.
As you wish.
Is that not what every demon says to every mortal? I will help you achieve your goals.
Following that, I walk over to Jurgen. Keep an eye on him, kill him if you need to.
I have a question.
Kind of
Should
Harold Wynn?
should Harold Wynn decide he doesn't want Jurgen to be able to keep an eye on him anymore, I think we all know that Harold Wynn will be able to escape.
The same can be said for all of us, though.
Which is why none of us have accepted the possession of the demon.
Harold looks at, "You may discuss what you wish to do with me. I am going to make sure that the people here are safe." And Harold will walk away, stay in line of sight, but is now checking to see who has been hurt, who is dying, basically doing a whole like status check for the area.
Okay. So you notice something very interesting in that there are one or two elves who are wounded, and you know, Harold, that essentially based on the wounds, they only have so much time before they're bleeding out and they die. But it seems as though their wounds have been almost frozen in time. They will not continue to suffer from them. So, probably still gonna have to go through some like physical therapy, maybe an amputation, but no harm from the moment you changed. No harm comes to any resident of the alienage. And you can sense, you in particular, no one else can really sense this, but you can sense that the iridescent barrier that you have bargained for will keep all the darkspawn out for a given span of time. Now, so, I also hasten to point out, the alienage is very small. It is also very cramped. You could potentially evacuate some number of Orlesians into this quarter. You cannot hold everyone, and you certainly cannot hold them for longer than a period of a few hours. So, if you had any clever ideas of like, well, we'll just concentrate the whole city here, um,
Never a thought that crossed Harold's mind.
the alienage can probably accommodate about 50 to 100 extra people, depending on how long it is needed. It cannot accommodate the whole city.
Is Evandriel still here? I think it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that we should let the alienage determine who those 50 to 100 people are, since this is their land.
Yes, Warden Commander, a rush to get to safety in the middle of this invasion will definitely serve the city well. There will be no conflict over this safe space.
Harold, if he finds Evandriel, just explain the situation.
Alright, so how do you explain it?
I have done what is necessary. The alienage is safe. If there are people who live outside of it that are worthy of our protection, you should get them and bring them here now.
Well, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I don't think we want to see your face around here much more.
This was never a choice that I was going to live through.
We'll honor your sacrifice. We'll tell stories about you. I hope you don't mind if we tell them as a cautionary tale so our young don't get ideas.
No one should follow in my footsteps. But would this have made me worthy of a Valicine?
It absolutely would have.
And I've done what I've come here to do. Harold turns and walks to the Grey Wardens. His weapons are still on his sides, the bow is still on his back, and his hands are at his sides. And he just stands there waiting.
Warden Commander, we do not have much time.
I look to Raylath. I say, well, I feel like you would know how to use him most now.
That's racist.
No, it's magist.
It's demonist.
See, the Emperor was racist. I'm just magist.
Have you decided if I am to die now or after we destroy the Darkspawn?
Well, you're here to save people, and you're still trying. And you haven't done anything that's...
I would like to raise a question before we finish that conversation from an out-of-character perspective. Previously, when we met with, what was the demon's name?
We called it
Curiosity, I think. I think her name was. We had a discussion, like I had asked, like about whether or not demons are always inherently bad, and the answer is essentially yes. Like demons, they are never really truly allies in any capacity of mortals. So my question, out of character from a lore perspective, is how long is it going to take before this demon starts taking over and starts doing terrible things using Harold's body, Harold's body?
So give me either a cunning roll or a magic roll. You can use whichever one is better. If you have any focuses that apply to demon lore, demonology, souls, spirit, anything like that, that applies.
I have spirit magic as a
Okay.
focus. So.
I mean,
Yeah, I
pertaining
did
to the
that.
soul, I've got political intrigue.
18?
Okay. 18 is a really good roll. What you would know, especially being a mage. You as a mage formerly of the circle, would have been taught that once you give yourself over to a demon and allow demonic possession, it's all over. You lose your identity, you lose your personhood, you lose everything.
According
Clearly
to the
that has not-
orthodoxy.
Yeah, clearly
Okay.
that has not happened with Harold.
Right.
Drawing on what you know of magic, Harold clearly has a very strong character. Probably not strong enough to hold up to the weight of a demon pressing on him and influencing his actions. How long that will take, who the fuck knows? He also did not take like one of the really negative destructive demons, so like not like a wrath demon. It's more of a pride demon. So, how long will it take Harold to go bad? Probably until after the blight, at least.
Hey, Harold.
However,
How do you feel about
any
being a
given-
one-man unit?
I think
it's
that's a terrible idea.
Agreed.
Oh, also, I will give you one more piece of information. As you look at Harold, Raylath, so you have this hum in the back of your head that it gets more pronounced when Darkspawn are near. And there is a different tune that plays when Grey Wardens are near. And the tune that plays in the back of your head, when you get close to Harold, it's not necessarily Grey Warden. I'm sorry, it's not necessarily Darkspawn, but it is discordant from a Grey Warden song.
Dope.
So he's not Darkspawn, but he's not Grey Warden.
Harold, I realize you recognize this was a sacrifice that you have made for other people, but the truth is we would have been able to handle the situation. And what you've done is actually very selfish because you forced us into a position where we are going to have to kill you. Because we can't let you just continue being. So that's an additional weight that you thrust upon us in the middle of all this. So thank you for that. Having said that, Warden Commander, this is ultimately your decision.
This is just out of character me saying it. The reason why I was saying one-man unit is because currently he's got, at least at the moment, control of this demon, and we can send him out to basically be a, hey, here is a one-man wrecking ball until he is basically dealt with by the Darkspawn. He will have
Assuming
done
that
a
he
massive
is.
blow. Yeah, but that's why I said it.
If you send me out of the city, I am most likely to disappear and sing my song wherever I please.
Right. So we can't simply let him go. And we can't trust that he is not going to turn on us and potentially betray us in the middle of things that we're about to deal with. It's likely he can resist until after all this is dealt with, but we don't know that for sure because we don't know exactly how long this is going to take.
The only thing I can promise is that I will not allow harm to come to this alienage.
Which is noble in a vein, but ultimately doesn't help us much with the situation that we're dealing with. So,
I
Again,
regret,
Warden
I
Commander,
regret
this is your
denying,
choice.
I regret denying you all access to my strength for the coming battle. I do not regret knowing that at least for once in this city, the lowest will not be the first to fall because of the mistakes of the high.
Harold, I don't care about what you offered to us in this fight. I care about the fact that you are forcing us, one of us, to have to take up a dagger and plunge it into your heart, which is easy enough to do with the dark spawn, much more difficult to do with someone that you've grown to like is a strong word, appreciate.
Well, if we're lucky, the archdemon will kill me so that you all have a chance to strike the killing blow.
I would rather not leave it to luck, but that's my take. I'm going to go collect my subordinate mages and make sure that they get back to their units. Warden Commander, I'll meet you back at the palace.
Okay. So you collect your subordinate mages, and as you cross the boundary of the alienage, that iridescent sort of sheen, uh, the song changes again. It was muted while you were in the alienage. You cross
Mwah.
it becomes more pronounced. Or not more pronounced, it sort of returns to normal.
I hate to say that that feels better, but at least it's normal. Glancing over at Harold. Raylath, Jurgen, no matter what happens, he's still at the moment himself and can help.
No,
If
he's not. On a fundamental level, on a fundamental metaphysical level, he is not himself anymore.
Raylith is correct.
You have to understand that, Garrick, because otherwise,
And
there is a very real possibility that when you go to strike the killing blow against the archdemon, if you are trusting what was Harold to watch your back, you will die, and the blight will not end.
it
You
is a
have to accept
possibility.
that as a reality.
It is a possibility. It's also a possibility that I will help you hold it down until you can kill it. And then whoever survives will have to deal with the fact that I might escape your attention.
Okay, since we didn't know before, and now I presume you do, what demon did you contract with?
Curiosity has been with us the whole time.
Warden Commander, may I add insight?
Certainly.
We are Grey Wardens. We fight Darkspawn, not demons. If Harold is to escape in the fight, let demon hunters catch him. We are Grey Wardens. We fight Darkspawn. We end blights.
Harold, if you said that if you were to be sent out, you would run, but if you were to stay in the alienage, would you defect or protect those around it too?
Truth be told, I don't believe I need to remain here in any way, shape, or form to ensure its protection. In fact, right now, the best way to ensure its protection in the long term is to kill the archdemon and force the blight to dissolve. If that changes, I may let you know.
Oh, I would like to, just as a very explicit thing, I would like to make sure that the mages that are here know that, as far as they're concerned, none of this happened. They don't know anything about one of the elves, even though it wasn't an elf of the alienage currently, an elf taking on a demon in order to protect the alienage, because the Templars would absolutely not enjoy that.
That is an interesting point. Harold takes his silverite dagger, or silverite short sword, and cuts off the tip of his other ear.
So, this is me asking
Roll
question.
1d4, Brody, and take that many health points of damage.
What else was I gonna do? 2 damage.
So, is there a way that a blood mage can basically forcibly temporarily bind someone to their will?
Oh yeah, that's the core of blood magic.
Can it
is
work with a
controlling.
demon?
Oh yeah, that's actually still the core of blood magic, I think.
Yeah, so if you can control Harrow, and Harrow seems to be in control of his body and his faculties.
Whether or not that continues to be the case if you try and force control is another question.
Right.
Yeah.
Can demon be forced out of a mortal body once it's taken possession?
So based on the games, yes, it requires a shit ton of lyrium and a mage to go into the Fade and fight the demon there.
All right. Well, we've got a chore for after the blight is dealt with. Then I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But Harold, would you accept someone doing the blood magic so that they can basically make sure that you don't go too far away?
I would do my best not to murder them for the attempt.
Look at Raylac. Does that sound like an appropriate way of saying yes?
No. Yes is yes. Anything else is an equivocation used by demons to get out of
Oh no,
agreements and bindings.
that was my polite way of saying if you try, I will try. I will take everything I have not to just murder the person who attempts it.
Rayleth gives the answer he gives.
One commander, I believe the choices are very simple.
Sorry, demons of pride don't let people control them.
Exactly. That is why Rayleth gave the answer he gave.
I believe the answer is simple. We either kill Harold now or after, and if he escapes, we inform the Templar Order and they hunt him down.
I would have no issues murdering Templars who tried to hunt me down, so this is acceptable.
I look at Raylath. I say, even though I don't trust him at this moment, which isn't saying much, in all honesty, if he doesn't, or Jurgen is right, he is a demon, which is not our problem. If he is helpful for this blight, he will be here for this blight and helpful. And afterwards, if he does escape, it is on the Templars. And I look over at Jurgen and just kind of shrug. I don't have good feelings about Templars most of the time, and I just say that one in a very quiet voice so that he can only hear it.
Maker, I do try and find something to conceal my eyes, because I'm going to guess those don't stop having iridescent effects.
Yeah, it would be very easy to find a hood that you can sort of
Yeah,
push over your eyes.
Arrow goes full alienage rogue of like hood and.
Okay. Well, with these weighty questions facing our player characters and a darkspawn horde at the gates, I think now is a really good time to call it. And next week, you've got an archdemon to kill. And who will be the one to land the killing blow? Because
I can't do it.
you had the option. You had the option of finding a female mage.
Raylath was just very much against that, baby Megan.
You also
I don't have to be the father, first off. But second off, it's still just a messed up plan.
There is absolutely some ethical gray area in that one, to be sure.
And I mean, there's no longer any time.
Oh, there's always time.
Listen.
Always time for a little bit of a chitty bang bang.
Well, to find the mage
I
and to
was in the
convince her,
Navy.
no, you're out of time
Oh,
for that.
okay, fair enough.
Quick, the world's gonna end if we don't fuck right now!
It's like the oldest
I've
pickup
watched-
line in the world.
Okay, I've watched Airplane 1 and 2. There's always time.
Let's smash for freedom.
All right. Anyway, thank you all for playing. This was exciting. I really love the twists that everything took. I love the role play. It was so much fun to watch. And Dr. Fusion, redeemed a malevolence. I am going
Oh
to hold
shit.
that in abeyance, along with the other malevolences that Betty has bought. So there's going to be a lot of malevolences when you face the Archdemon next week. It's going to be
I
great.
I cleared that cache. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, just very quickly in the normal order, if you want to let people know who you are and the next time they can see your face on the internets.
Hello, everybody. My name is Steve. My pronouns are he, him, and I played Jurgen, who is a tranquil mage who finds everybody expendable, apparently. I mean, his job is to end blights, not save people. Next time you'll find me is Friday. Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. We are
For another finale, because it's finale week.
Yes, it's finale time. Yeah, find out how badly my replicant dies in Blade Runner. It will probably be pretty horrific.
Oh, no, actually, we are not doing it next week because
That's right.
the other
We're not doing
replicant cannot
this
make
week.
it.
That's correct.
Yeah, so
not this
unsure.
Friday. Sorry.
I mean, I'll be streaming Baldur's Gate or something. Who knows?
So the next time you'll see me will be the 18th next week for this finale. So the end.
And the reason why you think everyone's expendable is because, as Jurgen would know, they are all dirt bags. That's why you pack our wounds with dirt. So I have Devin, I have been Garrick. You can find me online at Sorta Sullied, and you'll find me next week here for the finale, where Garrick dies, I think.
Who knows? Hello, everybody. I am Brody. I am Brody. I was Harold, and I will be Curiosity. You can find me nowhere else on the internet, for I am a figment of your imagination and also an abomination.
Hi everybody, Ben Ravensdale playing Raylaf, Apostate Elf Mage. You can find me, the next time I'll be on anything is this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern for public access here on this channel with Rachel. It's an awesome game, definitely come check it out. And then, yeah, I think that's it for this week. Oh no, that's not true. There's also a new YouTube channel that is hosting some superhero RPG episodes that I've GM'd. It's all on the table RPGs, both on Twitch and on YouTube. We are going to be streaming every other Thursday, just not this Thursday, so it'll be the following Thursday if you want to check us out. But they also have a YouTube channel where there is a whole series. I think there's like 10 episodes up to check out if you're curious about the Vigilantes Union universe that I'm running. Otherwise, thanks very much for being here. Appreciate it.
That is a lot of fun. All right. Thank you again for playing. Thank you to our wonderful audience for watching. You should hang out because in about an hour, they will be fringe-worthy. A very fun universe hopping game. It's a lot like Sliders. I don't know. You know Fringeworthy, you know Sliders, or you don't. I don't know. That's a very obscure TV show. Anyway, come check us out. I will be streaming Dragon Age on Wednesday. I'm kind of processed my feelings about the BioWare layoffs and what that might mean for the game. Anyway, also that Thursday, public access. Friday, I will stream something. Not sure what. Maybe more Dragon Age, maybe Baldur's Gate. You can get the cute underwear on my dime. Alright. Yes, and then come back next week for the finale of Victory, Vigilance, and Sacrifice. Good night, everybody. Also, we're gonna raid. We're gonna go do a raid.
Raid.
Oh, shit.
I don't have enough glow sticks, though.
Oh, stick around. Bye.